This is Part 2, Episode 56. Compared to other Empire's Soul Engineers, the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy's superiority was demonstrated through this simple probing attack. Unleashing streaks of soul rays was something that almost all Class 5 Soul Engineers could do. However, Wan Ejuan's soul rays contained 4 different elements. This wasn't something that everyone could do. Wan Ejuan had 2 yellow and 3 purple soul rings. The lights from his 5 soul rings intersected where a soul tool was shining brightly behind his back, evidently gathering energy. His 5 soul rings also all contained auxiliary-type soul skills that helped to enhance his soul power. He could last longer in battle through his energy-gathering soul tool. He also retreated quickly as the soul thruster beneath his feet sent him backward, widening the gap between him and Hu Yuhao. This series of adaptations impressed all the Academy's students, teachers, and even Xian Ziwen. As a Class 5 Soul Engineer, this was already the best he could do. However, those who were complimenting Wan Ejuan mentally were promptly shocked in the next moment. Hu Yuhao didn't dodge Wan Ejuan's soul rays. He continued to hurtle forward, and the soul rays seemed to avoid him on purpose. They brushed past his body, none striking him. Soul rays were faster than soul cannons, but they were less powerful. However, they were very accurate. With Wan Ejuan's abilities, it wasn't possible for him to completely miss his target like this. Wan Ejuan's soul thruster was beneath his feet. He instead used his flying-type soul tool to hover in mid-air. Although he couldn't fly too high due to the restrictions that were in place, the flying-type soul tool still managed to help him change directions at will. However, he had only just risen into the air, he had yet to gather speed. He was moving much slower than Hu Yuhao. The gap between the two of them had been reduced to 100 meters. Wan Ejuan was also appalled that none of his soul rays hit Hu Yuhao. He even thought that he was seeing things. He tried to fire his soul rays once again, and expended a lot of his soul power doing so. He used the soul rays to form a web that engulfed Hu Yuhao. His goal was very simple: delay his opponent. In that way, he could unleash a barrage of attacks at his foe. He could then employ some of his soul tools that were more powerful. However, he was immediately shocked again. It wasn't just him who was seeing things, all the spectators were seeing things too. Hu Yuhao had used his spiritual interference to avoid the soul rays previously. This time, he used the ghost shadow perplexing track. Using his spiritual detection as a guide, he slipped through the seemingly impenetrable web like a streak of smoke. He could find even the slightest gap and slip through it before advancing forward, still increasing his speed. Wan Ejuan had no choice but to take a breather, as the depletion of his soul power was too great, and he discovered that Hu Yuhao was only 30 meters away from him. How was this possible? No matter how calm he appeared, Wan Ejuan was still frightened at this point. He couldn't bother to attack anymore. He quickly fled using his flying-type soul tool. His entire body turned to one side and flew in that direction. He didn't forget to fling out more than 10 soul bombs, however. These bombs weren't too powerful, so their shockwaves wouldn't affect the user. They could be detonated using a little soul power, but they couldn't be underestimated, as there were a lot of them. Wan Ejuan was only buying time for himself. If he described this feeling to Zimu would certainly understand, as he had been through it before. That was also why he didn't bother to resist Hu Yuhao anymore. What was in the spear? It contained a powerful fighting skill taught by Elder Mu that was a combination of spiritual power and soul power, the Sovereign's Descent. That's right, the Sovereign's Descent couldn't be used in a long-range attack. However, that didn't include weapons. When Hu Yuhao threw the spear out, he infused his spiritual and soul power into the throw. He wouldn't get the throw wrong. He used the Tang San's methods to change the spear's direction, since he couldn't kill here. Even Xian Ziwen wouldn't give Wan Ejuan a hand, because no one believed that his spear could overcome a Class 5 protective soul barrier. He wasn't even using a soul skill. Hu Yuhao chose the Tang sect when he was still cultivating in the Sea God's Pavilion as a soul master. In terms of soul tools, he chose the close combat route. As he combined both together, he slowly formed a path that belonged to him. He had created this spear for the sake of this competition. It wasn't a true weapon, but was very suitable for sparring purposes. Hu Yuhao didn't think that he could beat a Class 5 or 6 soul engineer in terms of speed if they had soul thrusters or flying-type soul tools. However, it was different if he attacked from long range. He used his left hand to pull the spear out and pointed its tip at Wan Ijuan's neck. After that, he lifted his right hand and stretched out 2 fingers. Second opponent down. He used very little time in these 2 rounds. While he held his short spear and walked back towards the waiting area, Wan Ijuan struggled to crawl up from the ground. There was a complicated look in his eyes. He knew that he had lost. However, he didn't know how Hu Yuhao had won after he was struck by the sovereign's descent. His fighting will had been completely crushed. Jing Hongchen watched this fight seriously from the main spectator stand. Although he appeared calm, he was troubled internally. Those who were chosen to spar were the Academy's elites. Initially, students from Illustrious Virtue Hall were restricted from competing. However, Hu Yuhao had asked for Class 6 Soul Engineers from Illustrious Virtue Hall to be included in the competition. They were going to compete the next day. Jing Hongchen wasn't shocked by Hu Yuhao's performance, but by the way he had beaten his opponent. It was undeniable that Hu Yuhao was capable, since he had represented Shrek Academy in the Elite Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Soul Dueling Tournament. But he only had a 4-ringed cultivation. Even though he had twin martial souls, it wasn't easy to beat a Class 5 Soul Engineer. However, Hu Yuhao was completely beyond Jing Hongchen's imagination. He had already won twice, even though he hadn't used too many soul skills. No one even understood how he had gained victory in this round. Jing Hongchen had been observing Wan Ijuan's performance throughout this match. Although Wan Ijuan wasn't shockingly good, he had performed relatively well. At least he was much more outstanding than Xie Xianchen. However, he didn't last much longer than Xie Xianchen, even so. Hu Yuhao was just too ridiculous. Hu Yuhao was walking towards Xian Zuan. He passed him the short spear. 2 rounds had ended, and the commotion and noises from the crowd had died off. More and more students were puzzled when they looked at Hu Yuhao. Was this what a Soul Master was supposed to be like? Was this a Soul Master's fighting style? But he didn't even use a single soul skill. So Soul Masters were that strong? Weren't Soul Masters of the same level not supposed to be a match for Soul Engineers? But why were these Soul Engineers' attacks ineffective against Hu Yuhao? Some intelligent students were pondering in their minds. What Jing Hongchen wanted them to see was finally realized. Hu Yuhao wanted to at least influence their mindsets, because he hadn't been able to succeed in the other aspects of his plan. However, Hu Yuhao wasn't coming out of this with nothing. Firstly, he won rare metals and some gold soul coins. Next, he'd managed to boost Shrek Academy's reputation in the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. And most importantly, he had managed to fuse the results of his Ultimate Soldier Plan's training and his experiences with developing soul tools over the past 6 months. This was also a fusion of his paths as a Soul Master and Soul Engineer. Even though he couldn't use soul tools here, it didn't affect his thinking. The usages of different soul tools under different conditions surfaced in his mind, and his immense spiritual power ensured that he had enough thinking capabilities throughout the fights. The 3rd student to spar with him had already entered by now. It was a female student this time. This female student couldn't be considered very pretty, but she had a healthy complexion. She had a slender figure, and was around 180 centimeters tall. However, her figure still seemed very proportionate. There was a sharp look in her eyes. She stared at Hu Yuhao, and there appeared to be sparks coming from her eyes. A female soul engineer. Hu Yuhao had sensed a heavy pressure from this young lady. This female soul engineer was definitely stronger than the other 2 soul engineers earlier. Hu Yuhao had likely met a real match. Currently, Shrek Academy's Soul Tool Department and Martial Soul Department were exploring how to train in this aspect. The Soul Tool Department would provide soul tools and guidance for the Martial Soul Department's elite soul masters. As Wang Yang put it, this was the future developmental direction of all soul masters. Soul masters that could create soul tools and soul masters that could use soul tools shouldn't necessarily be divided into different learning and cultivation paths. This was something Wang Yang had mentioned as he studied in the library of the Sea Gods Pavilion. This was also affirmed by the Soul Tool Department. Even Yang Xiaozhe and Cai Maya from the Martial Soul Department were moved by those words. The Active Control Soul Tool Department signified that her fighting strength wasn't just in soul tools. Her martial soul was bound to be powerful too. While there were very few powerful martial souls in the Sun Moon Empire, it didn't mean that they didn't exist. Let's go, Nana. Let's go, Nana. Some spectating students stood up and chanted Nana's name. She was apparently very popular among the student population. Nana didn't seem to hear the cheering. She focused her gaze on Hu Yuhao. She too was very curious about him. One reason why she was so curious about him was because he might be an opponent in future Elite Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Soul dueling tournaments. Nana wasn't part of the backup team in the last edition of the tournament, but she had managed to excel based on her own capabilities in the academy. After she managed to become a Soul King at the age of 17, she was finally confirmed as a member in the next tournament. She would compete along with the Hongchen siblings. Since Nana didn't know how to create soul tools, she was definitely not as familiar with them as normal soul engineers. However, she was much stronger in her combination of soul tools and martial souls than most soul engineers. Furthermore, students from the Active Control Soul Tool department truly lived to fight. With the academy backing them, they were always exposed to the newest and most suitable combative soul tools. They could also place more attention on fighting, rather than being distracted by the creation of soul tools. She was one of the best among all the Soul Kings in the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy. She was far stronger than both Xia Xianchen and Wan Yijuan. Her soul power had reached rank 54 already. In the next 2 years, she aimed to reach rank 60 and become a Soul Emperor before the tournament. After learning that there was an opportunity to spar with a student from Shrek, she was one of the first few to sign up. Hu Yuhao's arrogance roused her fighting spirit, but she didn't think that Hu Yuhao was very strong. After all, he was only a 4-ringed soul ancestor. She could certainly defeat him. Xian Zuan nodded in his heart as he observed the intense competitive spirit from both sides. This round was bound to be more intense than the previous 2 rounds. He also knew who Nana was. That was because the academy had once asked him to create soul tools specially for Nana. Although she couldn't enter the illustrious Virtue Hall, because she belonged to the Active Control Soul Tool department, she was still highly valued by the academy. Begin. As Xian Zuan shouted, the 3rd round of sparring began. Both contestants acted immediately. Hu Yuhao wasn't the only swift attacker now. Nana immediately burst towards Hu Yuhao, unlike the 2 soul engineers before her. The students supporting Nana cheered when her scarlet red blade light appeared. However, their cheers were stuck in their throats shortly afterwards, and they were devastated. Nana, who gave off an extremely powerful seeming gaze, was forced back in one blow. It was evident that she was at a disadvantage. Nana's illusory figure suddenly became a little more realistic. She lifted her head as she landed on the ground, and her eyes met Hu Yuhao's. She saw the intense competitive will in Hu Yuhao's eyes. Did I just lose to him in a direct confrontation? Nana was very indignant. However, she managed to keep her cool even under such circumstances. Her body flashed, and she once more burst towards Hu Yuhao. She increased her speed again, then her 1st and 2nd soul rings flashed sequentially. Nana's figure divided into 3, all of them illusory. These 3 figures separated from one another once they were less than 5 meters away from Hu Yuhao, before swiftly gathering in towards Hu Yuhao at the center. 3 scarlet red light streaks shot toward Hu Yuhao. Hu Yuhao grinned. He acted just as the Nana figures grouped together. His body also turned illusory like Nana's, but the illusionary aspect came from the ghost shadow perplexing track. In this fight, many of the spectators couldn't even see what was going on clearly. They could only see Hu Yuhao shuttling between the 3 figures, and hear clanging or knocking noises resonated continuously. Sitting in the main spectator stand, Jing Hongchen's expression turned serious. He naturally knew who Nana was. He'd been the one to grant approval for her to compete in the next Elite Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy Soul Dueling Tournament. However, he saw her inferiority compared to Hu Yuhao after just a short bout fighting him. In terms of absolute speed, Nana was quicker than Hu Yuhao with the enhancements from her 1st and 2nd soul skills. However, she was only fast. She wasn't nearly as accurate as Hu Yuhao. Hu Yuhao's ghost shadow perplexing track allowed him to appear at the weaker areas in Nana's onslaught. While it seemed like Nana had encircled him, he was the one attacking her incessantly with his dark golden terror claws. Nana's 1st soul skill increased her speed and made her body more illusory, which meant she would suffer less harm when she was attacked. Her 2nd soul skill allowed her to form doppelgangers. With these abilities and her powerful close combat type soul tool, she was fighting like an agility type soul master with the strength of an assault type. The doppelgangers weren't real, they were just her second soul skill. They didn't possess any offensive strength. They purely used speed to create illusions. These three figures were actually just the one person. But how could her doppelgangers trick Hu Yuhao and his spiritual detection? Hu Yuhao could take the initiative easily even if he used less effort than her. While they appeared to be on par with one another, Nana was actually being suppressed and was at a disadvantage. This was clear from how relaxed Hu Yuhao was. He didn't even use his left hand, instead placing it behind his back. Nana was panicked as the battle dragged on. She no longer underestimated Hu Yuhao. Did he really just become a soul ancestor? According to the Academy's information, he should be more inclined towards a control-type soul master. Nana snorted furiously. Don't be so arrogant. Let's go again. As she spoke, she burst towards Hu Yuhao again. But she didn't use her second soul skill this time. She only used her first soul skill to increase her speed. Although she was unconvinced, her soul tool had already changed while she made her move. The scarlet flame blade disappeared, replaced by a green blade. She seemed to fancy blades. Hu Yuhao was under greater pressure when this blade appeared. It was also a Class 5 soul tool, but it was a wind-type soul tool. The blade unleashed 6 wind blades towards Hu Yuhao, which came from different directions. Hu Yuhao found it tough to navigate even though he had both the spiritual detection and the ghost shadow perplexing track. Nana inched closer to him. She wielded her swift blade, and 6 more wind blades attacked from different directions towards Hu Yuhao. She also got closer to Hu Yuhao with the speed boost from the blade. She wasn't slashing the blade anymore, instead she stabbed it towards Hu Yuhao's chest. He lifted both his hands, they were instantly covered in diamond ice crystals. He retracted his dark golden terror claws, and switched to the Ice Empress pincer with mysterious jade hands. He did something else too, something weird. His left hand grabbed forward towards the swift blade, while his right arm started to make large revolutions like a huge windmill. Something even weirder happened. As he revolved his right arm, the 6 wind blades seemed to be attracted by something, and changed their direction. They all slashed towards a corner of the arena, leaving several marks. While his left hand touched the swift blade, both of their bodies jerked. But the Ice Empress pincer couldn't compare to the dark golden terror claws. Even though he managed to block the swift blade, there wasn't enough strength. Hu Yuhao staggered 2 steps back. However, Nana was forced back too. How did he deflect the wind blades? Nana was shocked once again. But the blades were still useful, or at least they were better than the scarlet flame blade. Her attacks began anew after her discoveries. She kept on wielding the swift blade as she surrounded Hu Yuhao with attacks. Her assault continued swiftly. At the start, Hu Yuhao could still accurately judge and adapt using his ghost shadow perplexing track. But Nana was getting faster and faster. The wind blades unleashed from her swift blade were also increasing. A new batch of wind blades would appear before he had a chance to dispel the previous batch. The entire place was filled with green lights, and Hu Yuhao had disappeared within them. Hu Yuhao had no choice but to unleash his Ice Empress armor, as he was under immense pressure. The diamond ice crystals resisted the wind blades, piercingly sharp noises were released when both powers clashed. Hu Yuhao seemed to be more and more at a disadvantage. But Nana was also a little anxious. Hu Yuhao's defensive soul skills were very strong, and her wind blades had a negligible effect on him. The swift blade was much inferior to the scarlet flame blade in terms of offensive strength, and could be blocked by Hu Yuhao using just his hands. They were stuck in a stalemate. Nana didn't really have much of an advantage. If this is all you're capable of, you're going to lose, Hu Yuhao's voice sounded in her ears. Following that, Hu Yuhao's footsteps became a little messy, and his speed increased slightly. His dark golden terror claws appeared again. However, he wasn't just resisting the swift blade this time. Rather, he was also attacking Nana. Nana's momentum was such that she couldn't dodge when Hu Yuhao positioned his terror claws right at a specific position that she had to cross. She clashed with them heavily, using her blade to block their attack. However, it wasn't just a simple meeting of blades this time. Hu Yuhao's terror claws closed up, and his body was about to ram into Nana. The two of them were approaching each other rapidly. Oh no! Nana's third soul ring lit up as she reacted, and her body turned illusory. Hu Yuhao brushed past her, and there was no impact between the two of them. This was Nana's third soul skill, spectre possession. She could turn her body into a spectre, and not be struck by anything physical, but only for a second. It was a life-saving technique. She couldn't attack as this soul skill was unleashed, which was why Nana hadn't used it before. But she couldn't hold back this skill any longer. When their paths crossed, her fourth soul ring also lit up. Her shadow detached from her body as she paled, and it suddenly landed on Hui Yuhao's body. Hui Yuhao was engulfed by a layer of black gas. He couldn't move even though he struggled mightily. Nana suddenly turned back and burst towards him with the swift blade. She slashed the blade towards his neck. This was the effect of her fourth soul skill, Avenging Spirit. Her soul skill had a powerful restraining effect, but it had a lot of restrictions. It was operated using her spiritual power. But if the opponent couldn't be restricted, she would suffer from the backlash. I've won, Nana said to herself in her heart. However, she abruptly realized that something was amiss when she saw the look in Hui Yuhao's eyes. He was too calm. He didn't seem to be restrained. Hui Yuhao was a little amused at this point. In his mind, Elder Yi remarked, she must be tired of living, using an avenging spirit in front of a necromancer. As Nana realized something was wrong, Hui Yuhao's eyes turned grey, and an indescribable fear instantly engulfed Nana. Following this, Hui Yuhao seemed to mutter something. The avenging spirit surrounding Hui Yuhao's body instantly disappeared, seeming to fuse into Hui Yuhao's body. Boom, 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 boom. A series of booms rang out in front of Nana. Hui Yuhao's blood also contained soul power. He used his own blood to unleash the ice explosion technique, and forced Nana back with a series of explosions, and the swift blade was also torn from her hand. She couldn't resist the explosions in such a condition. Hui Yuhao didn't chase after her. He only shouted, "Don't move." Nana's body suddenly jerked, and she was actually frozen in place. She was horrified. She couldn't understand why her body didn't listen to her. "You're so intent on killing me." "We're only sparring," Hui Yuhao said coldly. He slowly placed the dark golden terror claws in front of Nana. The wound on his left hand had already been sealed by ice, and stopped bleeding. Nana couldn't calm down at this point. This situation that she couldn't comprehend left her extremely afraid. "I've won." Hui Yuhao wasn't above hitting a woman, but the killing spirit that he restrained wouldn't be unleashed at this point. Electrolux taught him that there were different regions in a person's spirit, even though it was a complete entity. He had also taught Hui Yuhao the different capabilities of a human's body. Nana's avenging spirit aimed to restrain a person's movements, which was why it now controlled Nana's own movements. After her avenging spirit was snatched using necromancy, Hui Yuhao easily found the characteristic of her spirit, which was why he could restrain her now. If Hui Yuhao destroyed this part of her spirit, she might be paralyzed. Without her spirit, she would be unable to move. He relaxed his will and released his control on Nana before turning around. He walked back towards the waiting area. His energy had been greatly depleted in this battle. Nana chased after him and shouted, "What did you do to me?" If it was somewhere else, others might misunderstand her words. But no one could sense the fear in Nana's heart at this moment. When Hui Yuhao had controlled her body, she felt as if she lost something important. Hui Yuhao said, "You're the one who's been attacking me." She wanted to question him further, but she realized that she once again couldn't move. She could only watch as Hui Yuhao walked away. Her fear grew stronger. She couldn't sense Hui Yuhao unleashing any undulations of soul power. The force that was restraining her seemed to come from inside her. This also meant that she wasn't being restrained by one of his soul skills. After she thought of how her avenging spirit had disappeared earlier, she roughly guessed that it was a side effect that was more scary than a direct backlash. While the avenging spirit was powerful, it became her nightmare once it met a worthy opponent. The restraint on Nana was only removed when Hui Yuhao reached the waiting area, leaving her trembling. At this point, she didn't dare pester him anymore. As she thought of how completely helpless she was in front of him, that she could only let him do what he wanted, she wanted to kill him. Hui Yuhao didn't think about it too much. He was furious, as Nana had almost killed him. He decided to punish her since she hadn't treated this as a sparring match. He was going to keep the spirit with him, and he would only return it to her after some time. "Do you need a break?" Xian Zuan's voice was gentle. A moment later, the previously conceited student groaned and then collapsed to the ground, along with his soul shield and armor. Hui Yuhao wriggled his wrist, after which the short spear that had appeared earlier appeared in his palm. He twisted his head towards Xian Ziwen and asked, "Teacher Xian, are you confident in my accuracy? I should be able to hit my target accurately within 150 meters." "It's over." Xian Ziwen couldn't conceal the shock in his eyes. He hadn't expected Hu Yuhao's spiritual type soul skills to be effective over such a long distance. Furthermore, his opponent had been a 5-ringed soul king. Yet, he hadn't been able to resist at all. Hu Yuhao didn't even need to throw his spear. This student wasn't likely to get up anytime soon. "You've won," Xian Ziwen said with a little difficulty. The surrounding commotion instantly turned to silence. Hu Yuhao raised his right hand and then extended 4 fingers. He'd not only completed, but had won 4 rounds in less than an hour. Aside from his battle with Nana, he'd overwhelmed all of his opponents up to this point. Jing Hongchen was a little restless as he sat in the main spectator stand. He'd discovered that, to his horror, Hu Yuhao's spiritual type martial soul was actually extremely powerful. A Class 5 soul engineer had been knocked out in a single blow, even though he was 150 meters away. Who could challenge him? In the soul tool department, there wasn't any student who specialized in dealing with spiritual type soul skills. After all, spiritual type soul masters were quite rare. Based on this soul skill, it was evident that Hu Yuhao had been holding back in the previous rounds of the competition. The rest definitely wouldn't have been able to bear this spiritual type attack of his. Hu Yuhao chose to rest after completing the 4th round. He sat down cross-legged and began to meditate. Fan Yu sat to one side and watched Hu Yuhao. He revealed a slight smile and comforting look on his face. Although he couldn't say that the ultimate soldier plan had succeeded yet, he was clearly aware of Hu Yuhao's performance in the battles today. This was the Sun Moon Imperial Soul Engineering Academy, where the most talented soul engineers in the continent resided. And yet, even these soul engineers with higher cultivations than him weren't able to beat him. He was only 15 years old. Besides the fact that his soul power increased very slowly, Hu Yuhao was almost perfect. Hu Yuhao had 2 hours to rest in the afternoon. After these 2 hours passed and Hu Yuhao reappeared in the soul tool experimentation arena, he was already full of energy again. However, he was still a bit fatigued from the morning full of sparring. The time he took rest between each opponent increased with each. Finally, he defeated 13 more competitors, and ended the day with a total of 30 victories. When it was close to dark, the students from the Sun Moon Academy walked out of the Soul Tool experimentation arena with serious looks on their faces. The looks in their eyes was a little heavy. 15 years old, this was merely a 15-year-old soul master from Shrek Academy. He'd somehow defeated 30 Class 5 soul engineers, including more than 70% of the Grade 6 students, without any soul tools. This also meant that practically no one could defeat him, apart from those in the illustrious Virtue Hall. This was a humiliation. Tomorrow, the Class 6 soul engineers from the illustrious Virtue Hall were going to compete. But, could they really win? The effect that Jing Hongchen wanted to see had been realized, albeit a little too heavily. Not all the students' fighting spirits had been motivated. A few of the students were in low spirits, and doubted soul tools after witnessing Hu Yuhao's strong showing. This wasn't something that Jing Hongchen had wanted to see. "We're rich, we're rich." Ha ha ha, Yi Xiaoxing laughed in Hu Yuhao's room. Currently, Fan Yu, He Kai-tu, Hu Yuhao, and Yi Xiaoxing were all standing around. Hu Yuhao had just finished dinner and was about to collapse. If not for the life gold's life power that enabled him to recover faster than an ordinary person, he wouldn't have been able to last until now. The life gold's power was indeed quite great. The wound on his left hand had already fully recovered despite the fact that it had only been a day. Hu Yuhao leaned on his bed and felt very refreshed as his body relaxed. "Brother Xing, how much did we profit?" After she lost to Hu Yuhao, the matter had been bothering her. She only came to talk to him after the entire competition was over. She didn't approach him as there were others with him, but only came to his room after Fan Yu and He Kai-tu had left. Hu Yuhao answered indifferently, "I don't know what you're talking about. If there's nothing else, please excuse yourself. I still need to spar tomorrow." Nana was enraged. "You don't have the guts to admit it." Hu Yuhao's brows lifted and he said coldly, "What did I do? You're the one who unleashed your avenging spirit. You're also the one who tried to kill me. It's a joke that you're interrogating me now. Please see yourself out." Nana wanted to erupt, but she held it in. She bit her lips until they were red. What exactly do you want? I can feel that my avenging spirit has been restrained by you. Return my spirit to me. Hui Yuhao was stunned by her sensitive judgment. Nana continued to say, don't tell me it's not your doing. If my spirit was dissipated or destroyed by you, I would have been critically injured. But I'm fine. It's just that my body is not under my control. You must have done something to my spirit. Return it to me. Hui Yuhao laughed and answered, all right, even if I did so, why should I return it to you? You almost killed me. What right do you have to comment on my actions, you? I'll report you to the academy. Nana was furious. Hui Yuhao pointed towards the door, if you wish. But someone must believe you. Even if someone believes your words, what evidence do you have? To Soul Masters, our spirit is a magical thing. Even a titled Doluor can't claim to be completely familiarized with one's spirit. Moreover, no one can test that your spirit is with me. Nana's expression changed. As she saw Hui Yuhao's calm look, she slowly walked to the door. Hui Yuhao sniggered to himself. Since he was scared by her in the morning, he had to make her pay for it. However, his heart still softened. He would return her spirit to her once the competition was over. Nana walked very slowly. When she reached the door, she stopped in her tracks. She didn't leave, but shut the door. Oh. What are you doing? Hui Yuhao stood up from his seat. Even though he was tired, his soul power was still in its peak condition. Furthermore, Nana was still under his control. Nana turned around, and 2 streams of tears flowed down her cheeks. Her body shuddered slightly, and her entire figure seemed to become illusory. Her clothing slipped off her body, revealing her naked figure. Hui Yuhao was stunned. He didn't expect her to do that. You? Hui Yuhao was shocked as he looked at her. Her figure was flawless. All women craved a body like hers. Undoubtedly, Nana was blessed in this area. There was no fat on her body, and her skin was extremely smooth and tender. Although her skin wasn't completely snow white, there was a healthy sense to it. Her slender waist was springy, and her flawless curves extended all the way down. As she wasn't facing Hui Yuhao directly, he couldn't see everything. But he could still see her perky buttocks. Hui Yuhao couldn't stand looking any further. At his age, one was supposed to be extremely curious, but unclear about the matters of the heart. He had once sensed feminine beauty from Ma Xiaodao, but he was very young then. That was why he wasn't as tempted. But he had developed biologically over the past 2 years. Hui Yuhao was indeed awkward. He felt his nose getting hot, as if it were about to bleed. Furthermore, he didn't dare to use his spiritual detection to tell whether she was done. After all, he would still be able to see her body. I'm done. Nana replied softly. Hui Yuhao heaved a sigh of relief at this point. He turned back to confirm that Nana was indeed dressed before turning his whole body around. His face heated up, and his nose was as hot as before. He tried to resist his nosebleed. Even though Hui Yuhao tried his best to cover his nose, Nana still managed to see it. Nana broke out into laughter. Quickly leave. Hui Yuhao snapped. He was trying to expel the erotic scene from his mind. Nana was evidently not as furious as before. You'll really return my spirit? Why not now? Why must it be after the end of the competition? Hui Yuhao said, that's because I want to guarantee that you won't find trouble with me in the next 2 days. Quickly leave. Even he felt that his reply was a little incoherent. Nana took a deep look at Hui Yuhao and said, I hope that you can fulfill your promise. Anyway, I've nothing that I can use to exchange for it. If you back out and want my body again, just tell me. Hui Yuhao felt his nose heating up even more, and there seemed to be blood flowing out of it. Nana opened the door before turning back to look at him. She smiled, you don't seem that annoying now. Better than that arrogant self in the morning. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.